Hello everyone, we move on to the lesson 2 and module 5. The lesson 2 is about solving exponential equations and inequalities. The learning objectives in this lesson are solve exponential equations in one variable and solve exponential inequalities. So equations means equal to, inequalities will be greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. So we will look into both of these in this lesson, and the keywords are exponential equation, compound interest, exponential inequality. So we will look into all of this now. Compound interest is used in banking, and from exponential equations we can use compound interest formula and solve problems. Let's jump into the topic. To solve exponential equations, we know this basic thing from the last lesson. So if you have not yet watched the previous lesson, please pause this and go back to the previous video, watch it thoroughly, and then come over here, because this all was explained in the previous one. Basic thing is you should know what is an exponential function. Anything like this, see, anything with the base and to the power x, and it must be greater than 0. The base cannot be less than 0 or 1. It can't be these three things. It can be from 0 point greater than 0 and less than 1. It can be less than 1 and it can be greater than 1. That was shown in graphs in the last video. Now over here, basically, if you have same base, then whatever is the exponent can be equated and solved easily. So what we need to do is we need to equate the base or manipulate it and get the base as same. So now imagine you have, say, 25 and 125. What you can do is get the bases same. Now let it be anything over here. This doesn't matter much. Now I'll just write for x and 2x over here. Okay. What you need to do is get the base. This is 25 can be written as 5 to the power 2. Then this x over here, and this can be equated to 125 is 5 to the power 3 multiplied with 2x. So now once the bases are same, you can equate the above thing. 2x equals 3 times 2 is 6x. So now this can be equated and solved. Now this is not a proper thing, but anyways, it just gives you an idea. This is not a proper equation at all, but just for understanding sake I gave that. But we will see into proper problems in a while. And one more thing is it's used also in compound interest, which problems we'll solve. I think so the example 3 is on compound interest. Now we will see basic equations. Look over here, you can see these 4 to the power so and so is equated to 64 to the power 7. Now the bases are not same. What can we do? Now we can see over here, if you know the power, roots of 64, I know 4 can be written to the power something as 64. So that is one thing if you know it already. But what if you don't know? No worries, take out your calculator. So whichever is the bigger number, you can try with this. See now, because 4 may not be needed to be changed, that can be as it is. So I will start with 64. But before you do anything, you must press shift and the symbol radical. Start with 2 and write 64. What is that? 8. Do we have 8 over here? No. Change it. Let's go 3. Now over here, this means 4, what is it, to the power 3 is equal to 64. Now many of you, if you know the basic cube roots, like for example 2 to the power 3 is 8, 3 to the power 3 is 27, 64, 125. If you know this basic cube roots, you can directly jump to solve it. Otherwise use your calculator and you will get the answer. Now what do? Here 4 remains as it is, 5x plus 1, but instead of 64 I will write 4 to the power 3 the whole power 7, and we know the powers multiply. So you can do 3 times 7 is 21, and now you can simplify it. That's what it's shown over here. See, you're writing 4 to the power 3 whole power 7, and the exponents will be multiplied. Power will be just multiply 7 times 3, 21. Now the bases are same, so leave them, just equate the exponents. So it will be 5x plus 1 equals 21, and you will get the answer. This goes to the other side, it will become 20, and 20 divided by 5 is 4. This is the answer. So this is how we can solve it. There is another shortcut method. Because it's an equation, you can solve this just by typing it in the calculator. Say for example 4 to the power 5x, that is alpha and this symbol, plus 1 equated to, come down and now equated to 64 to the power 7, and shift and solve, you will get the answer. Must be 4. Okay, that's the answer. Or there's another way you can equate. See, there'll be 4 options. Just plug in this 4 over here. When you plug in, what happens? 4 to the power, let me just go back. 4 to the power 5 times 4 plus 1 is equal to how much? So much, right? Now 64 to the power 7 must be the same thing. It's the same thing. Okay, so there are plenty of ways to solve it. Wait, let me just check. This is 4.39 in 10 power 12. 4 power 5, sorry, 5 into 4 plus 1. Yes, it's the same thing. Okay, so there are plenty of ways to check your answer. The easiest would be typing this in calculator, but I advise you not to do that, because for equation it is fine, but if you get an inequality, you will get the answer but you will not get the exact inequality. So you need to know this method no matter what. So this method is very crucial. Let's see another problem over here. Now over here you can, again make the basis equal. So what you can do over here is, since it is half, you can get this 2 upside and it becomes 2 to the power minus 1. Because if you have any negative exponent, you can take the reciprocal, like go take it to the denominator. From numerator to denominator, the power of the sign of the power changes to opposite. Minus becomes plus. Same way, if I have plus 1 over here, if you take it to the numerator, it becomes minus 1. So that can be done. And then you can multiply the exponents. And over here it's 16. 16 means it is 2 to the power something. Or you can do that method. Press this radical symbol, start with 2, 16. Okay, 4, no, we don't want 4. We need 2. Let's check. Let's try 3. No, this is not good. But now we will get the answer. Sorry, 2. So this means 2 to the power 4 will give you 16. So instead of 16, write 2 to the power 4. And now just equate the equations. Whatever is up, first multiply the exponent. Minus 4x plus 16. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 5 is 20. Negative 20. Equate the exponents and you can easily solve the answer. Let's just double check with the calculator method as well to check your answer. It's 0.5 to the power 4 multiplied by x minus 16. This is multiplied and this is alpha x. Now equated to alpha, calc gives you equal to sign. 16 to the power 2 alpha x minus 5. You can just press shift and solve, and the answer must be 3, and it is 3. So that's the answer. Now we'll come to a real world problem. They have told about Super Bowl. It's a major event, especially in US. So since Super Bowl began in 1966, it is extremely the extremely high viewership of the Super Bowl has led companies to pay millions of dollars to advertise just for 30 seconds. The average cost of 30-second advertisement during the Super Bowl can be approximately modeled by an exponential function, where the initial cost is 58,000 and the average cost increases by 9.9%, huge increase, nearly 10% each for each Super Bowl. Now for part A, we must write the exponential function to represent this situation. Now to understand this, in 1966 they started Super Bowl, right? The thing is, it was so popular that the advertisement, just for a 30-second advertisement, you have to, in 1966 it started with 58,000. So you have to pay 58,000. But that was the first Super Bowl. In the next year, 1967, there was a second Super Bowl, but the rate increased by almost 10%. Means about $5,800 was increased. For the next Super Bowl, it was about 63,800, around this, okay, round figure. Now same way, the third Super Bowl, again it increased 10% of this. That would be again at 6,000, it'd be about $69,000, and it kept on increasing. Okay, the average cost increases. Okay, yeah, the initial cost, sorry, the average cost increased, not the initial. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is every year it increased. So this was the exponential function. It slowly increased, but then eventually it increases, so this is a growth function. So what you need to write is you need to represent the equation. We have done this in the last lesson. In the last module, we had this problem. Growth function is given by this exponential growth. It is always 1 plus r. Now, one more thing is what I wrote over there, 1, 2. It was not 9.9 for this. I was wrong. I wrote 58,000, then 63 and all, right? So those were wrong numbers because it was not 9.9 of the initial cost, it was of the average cost. But from this equation you can easily get it. Now, let's understand this equation. Here, A is the initial cost. This initial cost is there, right? A. So that is the initial cost. 1 plus for growth function. They have told it's increasing. So it is a growth function. And R is the rate of increase. Cost increases. See this one. So you have to write over here 9.9%. And then X is what? X can be any number. So over here you don't need to write this X. All you need to do is write the given whichever is known. That's it, because X can be any number of Super Bowl. If there were 10 Super Bowls, then X is 10. Okay, if there were 20, it would be 20, and so on. Now C is the cost, that average cost. What is the average cost? That is C. Now over here all you need to do is C is unknown, right? C itself unknown. Here you can see 58,000, right? You can write 58,000 itself, but it'll be a huge number. So they have written in terms of millions, okay? Because the cost would be too much, and it's a part of a huge, I mean, there are three parts, I believe. So this is just the first part. So we are writing instead of thousands, we're writing in millions. So you have to divide by 10 to the power 6, or you must divide by 1 million. You will get 0.01, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 0.058, and those zeros, no need of writing. So these many millions, okay? So all you need to do is to get into million. Now here you have 58,000, isn't it? I need to write in terms of million. So divided by a million. Million means 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The answer is 0.058. So that's why we write initial cost in terms of millions of 0.058. And what about the rate over here? We need to add 1 plus 9.9, sorry, 9.9%, that is over here. That equates to 1.099. And we saw in the last lesson, the first lesson, growth function will always be greater than 1. And yes, it is greater than 1. Now, if you don't want to write percentage, you can just divide by 100, or it is 0.099. So this is the equation. The first part, write the exponential equation. We have written it to represent the situation. Now the second part over here, estimate during the which Super Bowl the average cost of 30-second ad was surpassed 1 million. Okay. Now you can see the C, right? The average cost. When did it reach 1 million? That is what they want. In which Super Bowl? So what you basically do is you have to, the same equation what we just now wrote, equated to 1 million. Now since we are writing everything in terms of million, just 1 equals to the equation which we had just now, 1.099 to the power x. Now here they have used graphing calculator, but we do not need to use graphing calculator. We can use directly a calculator. Equate 1 equals 0.58 multiplied by 1.099, close the bracket, and to the power unknown x. So we need to know which Super Bowl. So just shift and solve, and now you will get the x value, that is 5.77. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. Did I do anything wrong? It is supposed to be 30. Um, Let me just clear the calculator and try. Okay, it is 1 equal to 0.58, sorry, 0.5 multiplied by 1.099 to the power unknown x. This is the unknown Super Bowl. So the answer is 5.7. Okay, what am I doing wrong? So okay, I can see my error now. I have not put a zero. Okay, that's the thing. This is not zero, it's 0.05. I'm glad I did the mistake. Please don't do the same mistake what I just now did in your exam. I missed a zero. Now let's shift and solve. And yes, we are getting the correct answer. I hope this is clear. Over here, I forgot to write a zero, and that gave me a wrong answer altogether. Now, this is the equation. You can see we need to equate y as 1. When do you get 1 million for the cost, average cost for this equation? In which Super Bowl? So x is unknown, equate it to 1. 1 means 1 million. That means 30.16. Till 30th Super Bowl, the average cost for 30-second advertisement was less than 1 million. Less. But after 30th one, for the 31st Super Bowl, for 30-second video of advertisement, you have to pay $1 million. So that is what it says. So this is the thing. You can do this in graphing calculator as well, and you can find the intersection point. And lastly, interpret the solution. I just now told the same thing. It is, you can see, it was during the 31st Super Bowl, the 30-second ad surpassed 1 million. So 31st Super Bowl is the correct answer. And you can find the tables and everything in the graphing calculator, but we found the answer already. This is the equation, and very important thing is over here, this 31st Super Bowl would cost you $1 million for a 30-second ad. So that's the answers over here. Now let's quickly go through the problem. But before we start, I would encourage all of you to pause the video right now and try to solve this by yourself. Now, I hope you tried something at least. Let's look into this quickly. The moment you drive a car off a dealer's lot, it begins to depreciate or lose its value. In 2017, the average price of new pickup truck was $41,000. You can use an exponential function to model the value of the pickup truck over time. Now, whenever we buy a vehicle, so when we buy a brand new, imagine it costs say 100,000 dirhams. But as years go by, the value of this vehicle reduces, it never increases, it depreciates. So this is a exponential decay, it goes down. And we saw last video, decay would mean a into 1 minus r, the whole power x. So this is the very important thing. Over here, all you need to write is the equation, the first one. We know it is 41,000, so A initial value is 41,000. And what is 1 minus R? R is 0.09 or 9% to the power x years, they have told in terms of years. So that would be the 1 minus 0.09 would be 0.91. Okay, that is the answer, 0.91 and 41,000. And how many years? Okay, they are asking when will this depreciate to 20,000? So y value is given to be 20,000. We can use the calculator and solve it. So 20,000, 1, 2, 3 equals 41,000. That is the above equation multiplied by 0.91 to the power alpha x. Now shift and solve. That means after 7.61 years, the value of this pickup truck would depreciate down to 20,000. So initially, which was bought at 41,000, depreciated. will depreciate to 20,000 after 7.61 years. That is the answer. That is about basic exponential functions. Now we will go to compound interest. Now, compound interest is basically given over here. So imagine you invest some money in a bank. They will give you a certain investment, they will give you a certain interest. Now imagine you invested 1000 dirhams. For simplicity's sake, let's imagine 1000 dirham was invested. So now if imagine they tell you they'll give you an interest of 10%, so you will get 100 dirhams after 1 year. But the better investment would be compound interest. Instead of getting a single interest, the money what you invest, imagine you invested 1000, they'll tell we will give you a compound interest that will compound every now and then. So every 1 month you will get a certain interest which will be added to this. In the sense, imagine you get 5% interest over here. After 1 month, 1000 would grow to 1050 dirhams because 5% of 1000 is 50. So you will have 1050 dirhams. And now after another month, there will be not 50, there will be 5% of this. So another 1000, 2.5 or something will happen. So this interest keeps on compounded, becomes more and more and more. So interest is compounded every now and then. So this is a very useful interest. So in investment, it is generally preferred to have compounded interest than general interest. It depends on various rates and factors. Now this is the formula over here. This n is the number of compounding periods each year. So imagine the interest is compounded every month. Then this n would be, we always deal with year, okay? This r is rate of interest annually. So this rate of interest of 10%, if it's given, is annually for 1 year, for 12 months. So now this compounding is done, imagine for 1 month. That means n would mean it's 12. For 1 year, how many times it will compound? Every month means it will be n equals 12. Now imagine it will be compounded quarterly. Quarterly means every 4 months. So in 1 year, how many 4 months are there? 4, 8, 12. So n would be 3. Or if it is, say, every 15 days or every 2 times a month, if it's compounded, then n would be 2 times a month. There are 12 months. 12 into 2 is 24 and so on. So this is very important, the n value. Anyways, we'll solve a problem and you'll understand better. Now look at this. Luciana deposits $1,700 in a savings account that pays 1.8% annual interest compounded monthly. So you have the initial amount A, R the rate of interest, compounded monthly means n equals 12 every month. So there are 12 months in a year. So annual interest annually, compounded monthly means n equals 12. What is the balance after 5 years? So the time t is equal to 5 years. So all you need to do is write the formula, this one, and substitute. So here P is the principal amount. A I wrote, it's P. Just substitute everything. I'll directly put in the calculator. So the initial P value is 1,700. That is what is deposited, and then multiply it with 1 plus R. What is the rate of interest? 1.8%. Shift and this symbol over here, opening bracket symbol. This gives you percent. Divided by n value is 12 to the power 12 times the time of 5 years, and this is your answer. That should be $1,860, you can say. So that is the correct answer. Okay, because the annual rate of interest is very low, so the amount of money you get is very low as well. Only increase of $160 in 5 years, which is not that great. But now we will see another problem. So that's the answer here. Okay, this is a check problem. You guys have to do it by yourselves. Try it. Okay, pause the video now. Try to solve it because it's a simple one, and then I will solve it together over here. I hope you guys tried it. Now we will solve it over here. So I'll directly write it, okay? So we know the formula over here. Initial, whatever money is deposited. Aisha is depositing $500. That pays, what's the interest? So the interest is 1 plus R, 0.9, that is 0.09009, sorry, 0.9%. Sorry, shift and this, okay, annually. And okay, this is very important, okay, compounded twice a month. Now in 1 month it is being 2 times. So how many months are there totally? 12 months in a year. So 2 into 12, that's 24. N is 24, very very important. So divided by 24 to the power 24. N is always multiplied with time. How many? What will be her account balance in 25 years? It's a long time. 25 years, okay, multiplied by 25, the answer is 626. Because the interest is so low, the answer would be very less, 626.13. okay, this is the thing. Now that will be the answer. If you just remember the formula, say this is the formula, you can easily solve it up. Now then we will solve exponential inequalities. Again, it's very basic, very simple. It's just that you will have inequality sign. Okay. Now we must be careful while solving inequality, because you can't just put this in calculator. You will get the answer. Okay, let me just show you. I will put this directly in calculator now. 27 to the power 2x plus 6. Sorry, it's plus 6 equals 81 to the power x minus 5. Now shift and solve. Your answer over here. Okay, you're not getting a correct answer as well. Generally, okay, not generally, okay, many times you might get a correct answer. Did I put everything right? Yeah, you might get a correct answer, but the problem is, even if you get a correct answer, you won't be able to guess where is the inequality sign. You won't get that right. So now over here I did not get, maybe I did something error. Anyways, maybe I should clear the calculator or something. But now we will stop that. We will see how to solve this actually. So here you can see both the numbers are huge. And now, do you know any relationship between these both? Do you know any relationship between these both numbers? Now, over here, okay, it was shown, but generally, if you see 27, I know the cube root of 3 is 27, and to the power 4 is 81. So, but it's not so easy that you will know this by heart, right? So what you can do is use your calculator, try the shift radical symbol, radical symbol. Let's try 227. Okay, you're not getting a whole number, change this to 3. Okay, I'm getting an answer over here, so I know 27 can be written as 3 power 3. Now let us try to reduce this also to number 3. Let us check whether we will get this. 81. I know 81 squared is 9, but let's do it. 9 is no good, but I know 3 squared. Okay, that means I will get 81 in terms of 3, not over here. Now you can see I got this. 81 can be written as 3 to the power 4. What else? The powers over here, 2x plus 6, and over here x minus 5. It is greater than or equal to. Now you just have to multiply this over here. Since the bases are same, I won't write it. I'll directly multiply and write the equation. 3 times 2 is 6x. 3 times 6 is plus 18. Must be greater than or equal to 4 times x is 4x. Minus 4 times 5 is 20. Now simplify, take this to the other side. 6x minus 4x greater than or equal to minus 20, and this also becomes minus 18, and you will have 2x over here is greater than or equal to minus 38. It will be 20 minus 1, 19. X is greater than or equal to negative 19. So this is the correct answer. Let's check. Yes, this is the correct answer. Please don't try to use calculator. You have the inequality sign. Inequality sign flips at times. Okay, it depends on which is the bigger number. If you take this to the other side, it flips, isn't it? So it's very, very important that you solve this by yourself by this method. So whatever I've written, the same thing. Ultimately, you will get the correct answer. Okay, so that is how you solve this. Let's see. Okay, now what you write is the solution set is x greater than or equal to -19. Let's see another problem over here. The same way, I know these are very simple. 5 square and 5 to the power 3. We know we can do the shift and the symbol over here. Power 2. I'll start with 25 is 5. So I can write the right side as 5 square 4x minus 7. And then over here, I will have to write 125. You won't get a square root, but you will get a cube root of 5. So the left side is 5 cube the whole power x plus 2 less than or equal to. Now again, just write the exponents. That is 3x plus 6. 3 times x plus 3 times 6 less than or equal to 2 times 4 is 8x minus 14. And now take this to the other side and bring the 14 to the other side. It becomes 14 plus 6 less than or equal to 8x minus 3x. You will get 20 less than or equal to 5x. So the answer will be divided by 5 both the sides. 4 is less than or equal to x. But usually x will be written first. So you can flip the inequality sign. X is greater than or equal to 4. This would be your final answer. All you need to do is write x is greater than or equal to 4, because in your options you will never have a number which is less than or equal to x. First will be x. Look, the opening sign is towards x, so x is greater than or equal to 4. That is the answer. It's very straightforward. I think I'll just quickly try this in calculator. I think so you will get the answer. Alpha x plus 2 is equal to, instead of inequality you have to write equal to, and then 4 alpha x minus 7, shift and solve. Let's see. Not sure. Okay, I'm not getting it for some reason. Maybe if I clear the calculator I might get it, but anyways, but make sure you remember, for inequalities calculator method, even if you get, you'll just get the answer. I know for sure many times if you just equate it, you will get the answer. For now it's just not showing up, but the problem is you will not know where is the inequality. So imagine you got the answer as 4. You just can't write x is less than or equal to 4. It would be wrong. See, here the inequality has flipped, isn't it? So even if you get the answer, it is very important to know where is the inequality, right? So you need to solve it by yourselves. I'm just trying this, whether it will work now after I cleared it. Okay, no, it doesn't, I believe. Okay, it's not showing up, but there are problems where you will get the answer, but you will not get the exact inequality. So please remember to solve this by steps, and we solved even this one just now. You can rewind the video and see. That's how you solve it. And that's the end of this lesson. So I hope you have found it useful, and do stay tuned for the next video. Until then, have a great day. Bye-bye.